read this book, The End of Green Gables. Green Gables. Mate Goodgert was almost 60 years old. He lived with his sister Marilla on their farm on Prince Edward Island. Marilla was 5 years younger than him. They were both tall and thin with dark hairs. Their farmhouse, Green Gables, was a lovely tall house with a green roof. It was near the town of Ambolia. One afternoon, Matthew drove to the train station. He was wearing his best clothes and was very excited. Has the 5:30 train arrived yet? Matthew asked the station master. Yes, it came half an hour ago, said the station master, and there's a girl waiting for you on the platform. A girl, said Matthew, but I've come for a boy, not a girl. Matthew went up to the little girl, but he was too shy to speak. The girl was about 11 with a small freckled face. Her hair was red in long braids. She looked at him with large green eyes. Are you Matthew Goodbird from Green Gables? She asked in a high, sweet voice. I'm very happy to come and live with you. Matthew didn't know what to say. He couldn't tell her he was expecting to meet a boy. Oh well, said Matthew, let's go home. He thought Marilla could explain the mistake to her. He took the girl to his cart and drove home. My parents died when I was a baby, said the girl. I've always been poor and haven't got any beautiful dress. But I just imagine that I'm wearing a most beautiful dress and a big hat with flower on it. Then I'm very happy. Do you imagine things sometimes? Well, I don't, said Matthew. Am I talking too much? Please tell me. I can stop if necessary. Matthew smiled at her and said, You can keep talking. I like listening to you. Matthew was surprised that he enjoyed the journey home. When they arrived at Green Gables, Marilla was waiting for them at the doors. Matthew, who is she? She asked. Where's the boy? They weren't a boy, said Matthew. The orphans made a mistake. The girl looked at Marilla and burst in tears. You don't want me because I'm not a boy, she cried. Nobody ever wants me. There's no need to cry, said Marilla. Yes, there is, said the girl. This is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. Don't cry anymore, said Marilla. You can stay here just for tonight. Now, what's your name? Will you please call me Cordelia? Asked the girl. Cordelia, is that your name? Asked Marilla. No, but it's a very elegant name, said the girl. I'd like to imagine that my name is Cordelia, because my real name is Aunt Shirley. It's not a very interesting name, is it? Paula looked at Anne and sighed. When Anne was in bed, Marilla and Matthew sat at tables. We need a boy, said Marilla. A boy can help you with your work. We should send her back tomorrow, but Marilla, she's a nice little girl, said Matthew, and she wants to stay. So do you want to keep her? Asked Marilla sharply. We can give her a good home, said Matthew, but we don't need the girl, said Marilla. Yeah, you're right, Marilla, said Matthew, but perhaps she needs us, and she can help you with the housework. I can get a boy from the village. Marilla thought for a while and said, Oh, well, Matthew, she can stay. Matthew smiled and said, We should be kind to her. I think she needs a lot of love. And find a home. Next morning, Anne woke up early. A full flood of sunshine poured into the room. She slowly looked around the room. Oh, I'm at Green Gables, said Aunt. This is a beautiful place. I really want to live here. At the breakfast table, Marilla said, well, Matthew and I decided to adopt you, but we want you to promise to be good girls. Suddenly, Anne started to cry. Why are you crying, child? Asked Marilla. I'm crying because I'm so very happy, sobbed Anne. I really like it here. Everything is beautiful, thank you. Anne stopped crying and asked, can I call you Aunt Marilla? I never had any family, so I'd like to imagine you are my mother's sisters. I'm then your aunt, said Marilla. You can call me Marilla, everyone else does. Anne was quiet for a short time. Then she said, Marilla, will I have a best friend in Abolia? Have a best friend in Abolia? Dinah Barry is about your age, said Marilla. She's visiting her grandmother now, but when she comes back, we'll visit her. Diana? What a beautiful name, said Aunt. One day, little Linda came to visit. She knew everything that happened in Ambolia. I've heard something surprising about you and Matthew, Marilla, said Mrs. Linda. Is she true that you adopt a girl? Yeah, she's clever and interesting, said Marilla. Do you want me her? I called her. A few minutes later, I ran into the house. Well, they didn't pick you for your looks, did they? Said Mrs. Lind. She turned to Marilla. She's so skinny, and look at those freckles and that hairs. Red as carrot. Oh, it's very rude. Anne's face became very red. You're so rude, mean woman, and I hate you, cried Aunt. You hurt my feeling. I never forgive you, and burst into tears and ran out. Oh, what a terrible child, said Mrs. Lind. You will have a lot of trouble with us. You shouldn't have said those things about her later, said Marilla. It was rude. I'm surprised that you are defending us, said Mrs. Lind. I'm just sorry for you, that's all. Marilla went to talk to Aunt. You can punish me as you want, said Aunt. You can throw me in a deep dark prison, but I won't apply. We don't put people in deep dark prison in a villa, said Marilla, but you will have to apply to Mrs. Lind. I won't, said Anne. I will stay in my room forever. Stay here if you want to, said Marilla, but you said you'd try to be good girls while you live in Green Gables. The night Matthew quietly went to Anne's room and was sitting sadly by the windows. Anne, he said, why don't you say you're sorry? Both you and Mrs. Lind said things you shouldn't have. I want you to learn how to forgive. Why don't you say you're sorry? Both you and Miss Lind said things you shouldn't have. I want you to learn how to forgive. I was very angry before, said Anne, but I'm sorry now. I will apologize if you want me to. Yes, please, said Matthew. It's lonely downstairs without you. The next day, Anne and Marilla visited Mrs. Linda's house. Oh, Mrs. Linda, said Anne, falling on her knees. I've come to say how sorry I am. Please say you forgive me. I'll be sad all my life if you don't. Of course I'll forgive you, said Mrs. Linda kindly, and I hope you forgive me too. Oh, yes, Mrs. Lind, said Anne with a bright smile. Thank you so much. Oh, isn't it a lovely morning? Mrs. Lind, may I go and play in your garden? It's so beautiful. And ran off to play. She's an old little thing, said Mrs. Lind, but I think you might enjoy letting her, Marilla. Yes, it would certainly be interesting living with Aunt, said Marilla. A few days later Marilla gave Anne 3 new plain dresses. Get dressed now, Aunt, said Marilla. We are going to the Barry's house. You will meet Diana. Mrs. Barry met Marilla and Aunt at the door of her house and saw a girl her own age sitting in the kitchen. It was Diana. She had long dark hair and brown eyes. Mrs. Barry told them to play in the yard. They went outside. Diana, said Anne, do you think we could be best friends? I think so, said Diana. I'm glad you live at Green Gables. It would be nice to have someone to play with. Will you promise to be my best friend forever and ever? Asked Anne. I will like having you as my best friend, said Diana. Before long, they were spending all their free time together. Chapter 3. Anne's School Day. Soon it was September and time for school. Anne was nervous and excited. On the way to school, Diane said to Anne, today you will meet Gilbert Blythe. He is good-looking and clever. I'm not interested in boys, said Anne. In the classroom, Gilbert looked at Anne. He wanted to talk to her, but she was looking out the window. He was far away in the world of her imagination. She was far away in the world of her imagination. Gilbert pulled her red braid and whispered, Carrot! Carrot! She was far away in the world of her imagination. What? You horrible boy! Cried Anne. I hate you. She picked up her book and hit Gilbert's own head. The teacher, Mr. Phillips, saw Anne hit Gilbert with her book. Annie Shirley, he asked, why did you do that? Anne said nothing. I'm sorry, Mr. Phillips, said Gilbert. It was my fault. I was rude to her. But the teacher didn't listen to Gilbert. He made Anne stand in front of the room. Anne stood for the rest of the day with an angry face. When school was over, Gilbert tried to apologize, but Anne didn't look at him. I never forgave him, she said to Diana. I will never look at him or speak to him. The next day, some children were playing outside at lunchtime. They were late for the afternoon class. Anne ran into the classroom just after the teachers. You are late, Aunt, said Mrs. Phillips. You won't sit with Diana today. Go and sit next to Gilbert. Anne's face went white. She didn't move. What are you doing? asked the teachers. Didn't hear me? Yes, sir, said Anne and sat down next to Gilbert. I hate Mrs. Phillips. She sat over and over. At the end of class and packed all her books. I'm leaving the school, said Anne fondly. I'll never come back.